Hi everyone, my name is Briana and I'm going to be discussing the visual pathway using this 3D model of the eye. Okay, so let's get started. In a typical healthy scenario of the visual pathway, light rays enter the eye through the tear film and then through the cornea, which is right here. The cornea is like a windshield for the eye, and it refracts the light rays to allow them to converge on the retina. The light rays then travel through the anterior chamber to the pupil, which is located in the iris. So again, this is your cornea here. And the anterior chamber is between the cornea and the pupil. And then the pupil is right here, this black dot here, in the center of the iris. The pupil controls the amount of light that is able to pass through by the dilator muscle, which enlarges the pupil, and the sphincter muscle, which constricts the pupil. Next, the light hits the lens. The lens is a biconvex shaped transparent structure that refracts the light. The lens is able to become more or less spherical in order to adjust its refracting power of the light. I'll open this here. And inside, this is the lens here. The lens also serves to invert the image on the retina. Next, the light rays continue through the vitreous humor, which is the jelly-like structure behind the lens. Once through the vitreous humor, the light rays hit the sensory layer of the retina. The light rays penetrate through all the layers of the sensory retina to reach the photoreceptor cells. These are the rods and the cones. The cones are clustered in the macula, where we have our sharpest, most detailed vision, and the rods are primarily on the peripheral areas of the retina. So this here is a diagram of the retina. Here. This is the macular area where most of the cones are present, and then the peripheral here would be where the rods are present. The light rays strike the photoreceptor cells, which when stimulated create a nerve impulse in the ganglion cells in the retina here. The axons of these ganglion cells form the optic nerve. So back to the model. The optic nerve comes out of the back of the eye here. Okay, so this is the optic nerve right here. These impulses continue down the optic nerve to the optic chiasm. At this point, at the optic chiasm, fibers from each medial retina cross over to continue with the opposite temporal retina fibers. So as you can see here, the medial fibers cross over to the other side, and same thing on this side of the eye. The medial fibers cross over to the other side. The impulses then exit the chiasm and continue on via the optic tracts, which are right here, until they reach the lateral geniculate bodies, which are here. The impulses then exit the LGNs via the optic radiations. There are 6 layers, and they travel to the visual cortex in the occipital lobe. So this is a broader visual of the brain, and here is the occipital lobe. This is where the visual cortex is. Here's where the information from both eyes is processed and interpreted, and we end up with a right side up image. Thank you for listening to me describe the visual pathway, and I look forward to your feedback.